We've grown as people.
We have grown.
Where's the I cannot see the camera. Welcome, people over there. Thanks for joining us for Sony After Hours Support episode 11. Larry, take it away.
So today on our show, we're going to talk about several things as Derek puts me on the spot, and I have no idea how to rock this monologue. But yeah, take it away, Derek. I'm out.
I just wanted to see how you were going to handle that. It was actually, you took it a little bit further than I expected. But
well, that was my brain trying to figure out things. What's up, everybody? Good to see you guys.
Yes,
it's been a while.
Thanks for being here. Shout out to all you guys that are already here. Michael Beckerman here, nice and early, already getting us loaded with some questions, which is great. Thank you so much. We will definitely answer all of those. Gosh, I can't see the camera. There it is, somewhere over there. Yeah. Ronan, welcome back. Game Enthusiast, welcome back as well. Haven't seen you in a minute. That's
Absolutely.
Awesome. And we've got Global South. You're here too, at least that I see in the chat anyway. That's who I see. So welcome. Thank you guys for being here. I do want to say this. Of course, we have to start out with this. Switching the camera on me. Come on, Dan, you got to let me know.
No!
Set changes like it's like a hidden thing. It happens. This is live. Welcome to the world. But how this works, what we do is, of course, Larry and I, we are here to support you as our fans and, of course, customers, hopefully, to answer your questions about some of the products, some ideas you have, questions you have about how to make things work a little bit better. We will do our best to support, but at the very least, you're absolutely listening and passing these things on to the business units and stuff. We are here at HQ, and it's really hot in the building because everybody else has gone home.
It's hot in the building because I don't have anything clever to say there.
But I would also add this, of course. Those of you who are watching this post live, if you have any questions, throw those in the comments as well after the fact. And Larry, or probably Larry, because he's much better at it than I am, will answer those questions and give you that support as much as possible. Thank you so much for being here. Like and please subscribe. That does help us do these more often because we actually do enjoy doing it, and we want to make sure we do it every month for you guys.
100%.
So Luca has joined. Welcome. Joey B is back. Mason, I love it. Francois here. In another room as well. And Holly, lovely to see you there. That's awesome. I love it.
All right.
Okay, so
let's get started.
Let's get it started.
Okay.
Because we had a lot of questions come in before. Let's address those because most people have already seen that. So let's start with that. And actually, I want to start with the one that is, I got to look at it. It was on the teaser that we had. Oh, yeah. Michael Beckerman had a question about a change of the optical port on the Bravia 7.
Yes.
So it is a mini Toslink adapter.
Say that one more time.
Mini Toslink.
Can you spell it?
Toslink.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Yeah, I just did.
It's the country of origin? Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. But yeah, no, it was basically just a question about why the switch to that. Now, I don't know the engineering reason because that's well beyond my pay grade. But it is kind of cool because the ability to use a mini Toslink adapter, because it is optical, it is light, so you could actually combine that with an analog port connection. So it essentially is an optical port as well as the S-Center Sync kind of put into one port, which I think is more for efficiency, and honestly, cost is probably part of it too.
Oh,
I can't say it 100%, but that would be my guess.
Cost is absolutely a big part of it. I think when you can innovate or when you can utilize technology that allows you to get two applications in one port spot or one spot, that's cost saving, right? Forever, not to go down the rabbit hole of history, we kept component and composite cables or connections on our TVs way past everyone else did. And there's a cost associated with that. And we understand that everyone in the world is very price conscious on everything that they're buying. They don't want to sacrifice tech. They want to save money. And so that's
yeah. You bring up a good words. I can say them sometimes.
I've heard you. Many.
Ooh, it's the heat. The heat gets you. What we were kind of talking about a little bit earlier was that fact that we run into this so often with, it doesn't matter what product, really. Right. I want this. I want this. I want this. Totally get it.
Yeah.
If anybody wants all those things on one, it's us. That's why we are here, is because we love this stuff. The problem with that is that you add in feature, and the price goes up and up and up and up and up.
It does.
And it's one of those things that you then have that balance of how do you make something cost effective for somebody to get the features that they want as best as you can.
Yeah. smiling at Luca.
I know Luca just put in there. You know what? Okay, we're just gonna do it now or is this something for later?
Oh, it was just random. First of all, Luca, I wish you would have put that in there a little differently, because now I'm gonna get in trouble for having this up here. Like,
Yeah, you know.
so I just randomly grabbed this box of non-branded crayons. Sort of symbolic of my last week. All right. So
What?
yeah, I know. This is what happens when I don't tell you what I'm going to talk about.
I don't know where this is going.
It is.
Continue.
So last week I had a great opportunity to meet with a group of people, a variety of different people. And one of the things we did at this undisclosed location was to have a really interesting view of our 2024 televisions, including the X90L, as well as other TVs in the space. So be real careful. What made me grab this Crayola box, because everyone walked away. Like we've talked a lot about our backlight systems. We've talked about the advancements of XR Backlight Master Drive. We've talked about all of these things, but everyone walked away saying, yeah, it's brighter, but you know what else? The color is so amazing. Not limited to just our mini LED televisions, but also on the OLED televisions. Listen, I left. I'm really gonna get close here. There were several people that left scratching their heads, because we understand with the OLED, it's pixel level control, and that's great. And we've talked about processing is important, and you can't underestimate the power of processing, and it's hard to quantify that. We saw content on an OLED that has pixel level control that was struggling to deliver the proper color because of its proximity to darker content, because the processor has to be skilled enough to be able to draw those fine lines and deliver that. It's a nighttime scene, should have been a yellow neon sign, but it was white. We're not talking about clipping, just the processor was confused and then just chose white. Anyway, so I brought out the crayons for the purpose of saying that you all know that our mini LEDs this year are QLED panels, right? And you also know that it now shares that feature with someone else, but it does not matter the panel type if you fail to be able to properly utilize the colors that are at your disposal. So it's sweet to have all those colors, but if your processor can't open the box and select the proper color, then it's a waste of time. So anyway, that's
Wow.
So, all right.
There you go.
That's gone.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. No, that was wow. You were very, very into that. You always get that sort of passion. when you
At
have
least
something
once.
like that. At least once.
least
Yeah.
once.
No, that's
Yeah.
that makes more sense. I accept that.
There it is. Cool. All right. Okay. I'm done. That's mine.
Knocking out just a couple of the other questions that Mr. Beckerman had as well. And thank you, Ronan, for basically answering it. But yeah, we'll just kind of piggyback on it just to kind of revisit it. Question about the 4-position stand, specifically. I think it wasn't specifically for a specific model, but yeah, at least for the 7, just for reference, that's where I'm looking now. The legs just kind of clip in. It's the monitor's all the way over there, and I'm looking over here. That's like a distance anyway. Yeah, if you want to do so, the 4 positions, just so people know, you have a low position, wide and narrow, and then now you have a soundbar position, which actually raises it up, and that's wide and narrow, which is pretty good. Gives you a lot of flexibility based on your particular needs, which is always a good thing. In the case of the Bravia 7, at least, it does just click in. But if you want to raise it up, there's a metal piece that adapts to this that you unscrew, and then you raise up, reconnect it, so that way when you put it into the TV, now it's just raised up. So yeah, just to kind of
That was on Bravia 7, right?
I believe so. I'm actually reading. I thought it was, but that was the initial question. So
Yeah.
this was just specifically for the 4-position stands in general, because I think
Gotcha.
there are different models. There are different models that actually have 3 holes that they slot into. So you do
That's
this one if you
Bravia
want it
9 is
higher,
that
or
way.
the top 2 if
Yeah.
you want it lower. I don't know if that makes sense, because that's not a great.
Right.
Vision
Well,
of
it does to me. Yeah, Bravia 9
That's
is
the
that
best
way.
I got.
So,
But
cool.
yeah, any specific questions about that, please let us know. We'll do our best to show that. We do have a couple of unboxing videos that are in progress right now that will show some of those as well. Second question was sort of about, it's kind of a combination. The second and third question were about HDMI 2.1a and source-based tone mapping. Very quickly, source-based tone mapping is kind of a newer thing with HDMI 2.1a, and there's not a lot that really supports it right now, but the idea is that the device will tell the TV how to set its HDR performance.
Right.
One of the questions, which is a good theory.
You mean the source?
What did I say?
The device?
The source. Sure, which is typically a device.
Like
Well, it's a little different when it comes to internal apps, because it's doing all of it itself rather than just receiving a signal, if that makes sense.
I had this.
on behalf of the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not caught up because I rolled back, so okay.
I'm picking it up. I'm kidding.
I feel like I'm watching tennis.
Why am I here? I know.
You know,
I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't know.
So anyway, just gotta go back to this.
Yeah. Sorry.
So the question was, is it similar to Prime Video calibrated mode, which was a great theory. And we actually started discussing it, and I was actually like, I think it's actually more like auto HDR tone mapping. Thank you. I started to say genre picture mode.
Because that's the order we say to
Yeah. Auto HDR tone mapping for PlayStation 5, which has been around for a while for some of our perfect for PlayStation features with the Sony TVs, where essentially the PlayStation and the TV say, hey, what can you do? Says the PlayStation 5, and the TV says, I can do this. And the PlayStation says, you got it. Here you go. And gives it the optimal settings for HDR performance for the TV.
If I would have told that story, it would have sounded a little different.
It would have sounded extremely different.
Yeah, it would have like, sup, come here often. Like that's literally, that's probably how mine would have started. Okay, I know.
Wow.
It is warm in here.
All right, so yeah, it is very warm in here. So just kind of catching up on some of the other things here. You are allowed to speak. I just want to say that. I know I'm just kind of blah, blah, blah,
No,
going.
dude. No, yeah. Come on, man.
Global South had just an interesting opinion on people getting stuck on features and specs. I could not agree with you more. And having worked in retail for a very long time and talked to many, many customers over the many years, and I did often find that sometimes it's like, well, why are you looking for it this way?
Right.
Do you know what this actually does and why you feel you need it? And sometimes you're like, oh, everybody else says they need it.
Right.
And it's like, oh, this is a higher number, so it must be better.
Right.
It's so subjective in so many cases, and just personal preferences, and sometimes different layouts are different needs for different people, different types of content they watch.
Right.
Sometimes it's just a different recommendation to meet their needs.
And depending on the product, right?
Yeah.
You can even switch. I have a close friend of mine, shout out Roosevelt, who he and I having a discussion about like just full array local dimming or mini LED versus OLED. Like it's a fight. We have sports arguments and debates, but he's like OLED. Nothing will ever be better than OLED. And then he and I got a chance to look at OLED versus mini LED, Bravia 8 versus Bravia 7, and I've never seen him so confused in his life. He was questioning everything he has felt about picture quality at that moment. So testament to Bravia 7.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
he did. He bought 75-inch Bravia 7. He sure did.
nice.
That was his choice, and that is the only non-OLED TV he has in his house now. Crazy.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
It's a good story though. I like
You're
it.
next.
Next, we'll see. We'll see. Sam, welcome. Good to see you as well. All right, so I'm not aware of this. I don't know if we have an answer right now.
Okay.
PTT 1982.
Okay.
Is Bravia 9 going to be launched in Japan this year? We didn't get the A95L here.
First of all, shocked with that.
I'm a little surprised at that
Yeah.
too.
I actually can. Before the end of the show, I've got 574 slides I'm going to sift through documents. I think I may be able to, with some certainty, give that information.
Yeah, I would say this regarding the
This is
Bravia
Derek saving
9.
me. Okay.
The Bravia 9 is one of those weird situations where it is not available in all sizes everywhere.
Right.
We had a lot of people ask why that's the case. Unfortunately, I don't know. Here in the U.S., we do have it in multiple sizes, but last year we did not have the smaller sizes of the X95L.
It's true.
I don't know exactly why that was either. So there are clearly decisions being made beyond us that unfortunately I don't have an answer to, but that may be the case there. But I had no idea about the A95L in that situation. So we'll see what we can find out about that.
Yep.
AAAZZZ, there's been an issue with A95L where the ambient optimization turns on automatically when you open Netflix.
Can I ask a question about that? That's a great question. And AAA, Triple Z, do you have Netflix calibrated mode toggled on?
Good question.
Because my thought is, if Netflix calibrated mode is toggled on, part of what Netflix that mode utilizes is the ambient light sensor.
Correct. It's adaptive calibrated.
Right.
Yep.
So thank you. I keep forgetting that important word. Yeah.
Yes.
So let me know if that's on, and if it is on, toggle it off, and let us know if you have that same experience. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
that's a good place to start. So yeah, if you are able to check that now, let us know while we're live. If not, come back to the video, put it in the comments, and we'll kind of take a look at it again just to see if we can kind of figure out exactly what it is. That sounds like that could be the case because it is doing that by default. Now, not having a lot of personal experience with that, there's a couple routes that you could go just in my thinking. Of course, you could turn off the adaptive calibrated mode, which is an option. Then you could still at least take advantage of Dolby Vision for almost everything that they have on there, which is still going to look amazing. But you should be able to toggle that independently too.
Yeah.
And there's multiple options for how it's actually adapting to the room optimization anyway too.
Can I say the most annoying
We said
question?
Netflix calibrated mode is turned off.
Okay. Can I ask the most annoying question that anybody could ask in a troubleshooting situation? Can you please confirm that you've updated the app? Okay. Because so if you just quick if you can do this in real time, go to the home screen, go to the top to the apps section, scroll down. This is just the longer way. It's multiple ways of doing it. But go to the little search bar there, type in Netflix, open up the app, and it'll let you know if it should give you the option to say update, uninstall, or open, uninstall. If it says open and uninstall, that means it is up to date. If it says update, uninstall, click update and see if you have that same problem. Let's see if that happens.
Good call. Good call.
I'll try.
To follow up with another question, and I don't know. I know sometimes you're more tapped into this than I am. An ETA on the game mode features advertised for the A95L. I don't know if you know. I haven't heard.
I don't. So I don't have a specific ETA on that. I don't. What I do know is that first, I've read some questions like whether or not it's even going to happen. Like there's some, I've read some of that online. No, it is going to happen. Timing is about working and doing some initial testing and development. Keep in mind, A95L obviously was technically the first of our 2024 models that was released. So it will be, in this case, a little bit behind the rest of the TVs that were built, with this to do live at launch. But we should follow up on that to see if there's any.
I think so. And actually seeing too the latest comment from AAZZZ, the word limit didn't let us get the whole scenario, but we have an email address.
Got an email. So
I forgot about that. Sorry.
And this is for anybody, and Derek usually gives this spiel, but I'll take a shot at it. Whether you're watching us live or watching us recorded, we always want to make sure that we can get the information. I know Derek talked a little bit earlier about putting your comments whenever you're watching this so we can follow up. But also we have an email address that we do check. That email is afterhoursupport@sony.com.
Is that right, John? That sounds right.
Yes. I had to pause for a second. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. afterhoursupport@sony.com. Send us an email. Look, I'm just gonna be honest. Our goal is 72 hours to get your response. Sometimes it's much faster than that.
Yeah.
But between all the videos, all the comments on YouTube, and also there, we just want to make sure we're not forgetting anybody. But put that in there that'll allow us to have a little bit more two-way dialogue to help you get on the resolution you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that does help make it a little bit easier, we can kind of research and we could just respond that way too. But obviously the comments are always good to see while we're doing this live too. Let's see. We had Game Enthusiast. You're welcome for the explanation on auto HDR tone mapping, and asking too, is it similar to Dolby Vision gaming? They are similar, and maybe I might be wrong on this, right? So in the case of Dolby Vision gaming, it's more of like, here is your specific changes that are made based on whatever's happening in the game. It's very right, and then the TV adapts to that, and they are certified, you'll have different Dolby Vision information, metadata, based on the model you have and what it's capable of to give you that optimal performance. But what I do love about the auto HDR tone mapping, just kind of give a little bit more on it. Those of you who are gamers, when you first set up a console, or you can actually go into the settings, you have the white design within the white box, and you get it where you can just barely see it or not see it. And same with the black box. This does all of that automatically, so it's accurate. Because I know I always way overthink it. Be like, wait, is it? I can kind of see it.
Kind of see it.
But do I want to give myself a little bit more? It's like I may be missing out on a little bit of the experience. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
well,
No, it's
but
good.
they're similar in many respects.
They are.
No problem on the answer. Let's see. Michael Beckerman says, just this week, another company shipped a new pair of headphones with very limited support for Wi-Fi.
You're good. That was good.
I know, I'm on the fly here.
You're good. That was good. Okay. Man,
I'm
that
on
was
the
good.
fly. Is there a Sony headphone model coming with Wi-Fi support for uncompressed audio streaming ability? Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
And honestly, too, just to be upfront, if I did know, we can't comment on future product anyway.
But interestingly enough, and I hope I am not completely off base when I say this, right? He said streaming. Okay, that was a dramatic pause. Let me just think, because I don't want to go too far without. So obviously, different streaming platforms support different streaming formats that give you a different experience. Yeah, let's hang tight on. Let's follow up on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're almost caught up on the current questions.
that's great.
Michael Beckerman had another question that I don't have an answer to. So,
I
and
do.
it's just a discussion about a new SoC.
Listen,
I have not looked into it at all. So
I've read about it. I have shockingly. Shockingly,
I'm not surprised.
That guy. It's very interesting. Obviously, what they're announcing that SoC can do is very interesting. So we'll see.
Okay.
That was
Well said. That really answered a lot.
the best
That didn't
non-answer.
even help me at all either.
I didn't want to go too far with that one.
And when it comes, Sam, to your comments, you put a lot of faith in us, but whoo,
That's clever too.
yeah.
Sam, that's it. We were just talking about that
We were.
information, right? And I
Yeah.
live in an area of the country where those are also, right? And so, I mean, it's interesting. So
We'll have to wait and see, but I appreciate your faith in us, but man, whoo, we can't move mountains though, unfortunately. Not yet.
yeah.
We're working on that.
I think they had SDDS inside of those theaters. I thought they had SDDS. So there's a strong, I mean, we know our cinema projector percentage versus everybody else is pretty stellar. I just can't remember if they had our cinema line projectors, but I think they were SDDS. I think audio they were.
Yeah, I actually do not know.
All right, cool.
Oh, Luca. Here's the Wow, Luca, come on, man. We just said we can't move mountains. Sheesh. Anyway, I love
too
it.
funny.
Thank you guys for the comments. I appreciate it. This is the stuff that we like, is to obviously have fun. We really appreciate having this opportunity to just kind of
Absolutely.
chat with you guys and everything. But obviously, we don't want to lose sight of people that are looking for support. Please throw your questions in the comments here, or feel free to email us. Or if you're watching this again after the live is over, you can always put that comment in, and Larry will probably respond to it because he's awesome like that. But we do thank you guys very much for the support. That said, we can go to some of the other things to fill the time that we have. And it's time for Release Radar. Ooh, he was on it. Well done, sir. So just kind of very simply, like, we haven't had any brand new announcements that at least we're covering anyway, because there was one, but we don't have any info on it. Certain phone. But did you know? Man, you're quick. I like it. All of the amazing home entertainment products that we announced and have been talking about, the TVs and the Bravia Theater bars.
There you go.
I did it right.
You did it right.
As well as the quad are available. So now you can go ahead and put those orders in, at least in our region.
Yes.
There are some other regions that may or may not be the case, or based on the size that's available. Awesome stuff. And I will say this, having seen some of the demos, everything has really impressed me,
Right.
which is good. Bravia 9 has been exceedingly well received. Like
Yes.
stellar responses from people, and I love that it is sort of, oh no, Global South. Well, uh-oh, I'm sorry if we don't have things near you. I'm so sorry, man. You make me feel so guilty.
You should.
I do, and I have no control over it. But yeah, just the response to what it was, because the perception of OLED being the best. And now we're kind of flipping the script a little bit to, well, actually, when you can, we've always talked about backlight control is the key. We've always had that. And as hardware is improving, our processing algorithms have been improving, we're able to get so much more of a more accurate performance out of mini LED.
Yes.
And now you're starting to see this range, because we hit zero black with OLED.
Yes.
And this range up here
Yes.
is huge, and we're tapping into that a lot more, and it just makes things look.
How? Into the mic, please, louder. Oh, wow, and he lowered his voice. Close up. What?
I don't know if anybody can hear that.
It's
anyway.
okay. So I had a conversation with Dan, one of our producers, earlier, and I probably shouldn't have. Dan asked me a great question. How come we don't speak more about our products in a competitive sense and state how our products go against the competition, right? And it is a tough and challenging thing. This is a totally fair question. And I'm sitting here right now making sure I don't do it. But did you know?
Little delay. It's okay, John. Good job.
Flash the disclaimer. One of the interesting pieces of feedback I heard at the event last week, in a side-by-side with the A95L, this person walked up to me and asked, "Are the settings the same on the on the TVs?" So I did what you should do. Here's the remote. Change them yourself.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So they reset all the settings, and I'll tell you where I'm going with this, because A95L, as we know, is an OLED, a QD OLED, and they asked, in looking at the other TV, why does this other OLED look like an LED TV with blooming now?
Oh.
I said, maybe you should ask them. I know the answer. By disclosing what the answer is, it would be very obvious what I'm comparing it to. So I won't go that far. But saying all that to say that when you were talking about OLED performance and technology and things like that, and I'm still thinking about how we don't talk a lot about that. And I will let you guys know, one of the things that Derek and I are working on for future shows, hopefully starting next month, is we're going to do some live side-by-sides.
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna put TVs next to each other. You won't know what the other TV is. We will cover up everything. Listen, and don't ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to be very respectful for it, but all too often we talk this game.
Yep.
And yes, people can go into stores, but the biggest challenge, of course, being that when you go into a big box store, you see one TV way over there and another one way over there, and they're playing completely different content.
Yep.
It's very hard because, honestly, who wouldn't want to play the best possible content in their TV to get you, so we're the bugs to the bug zapper.
Of course. That's it. Moths to a flame.
That is one thing. Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
That's a thing.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. But again, thank you all sincerely for being here. Please tell your friends and family or anybody who you think might be just interested in just hearing about cool stuff like this or asking any questions.
Yep.
It is support, but it is also to kind of just engage with you guys and listen to the issues that you might have, and hopefully we can help, and also hear some thoughts and recommendations that you have.
Yeah.
Going back to just a couple quick questions, unless you wanted to finish thought. I'm sorry.
No.
Good. Keep it to yourself. Game enthusiast, does the Bravia Theater U support DTS-X? I know it supports Dolby Atmos.
I don't think
Now-
it does. Let me. I'll look.
Yeah, he's gonna confirm. But in the meantime, like as you said, because I know that you said earlier, game enthusiast, I love it. A95L with the Theater U. I love it because I'm recently just got into
yeah.
that boat, very recently.
Lucky.
And
That's Joey B. That's a flex.
yeah, he should still be in here. I hope he's in here earlier. I
That's
think.
a flex.
So yeah, it's oh my gosh, it's so amazing. But what I do love about it is that obviously the Theater U does support 3D audio support, and you can actually do the 360 Sound Personalizer app, which actually can read your ears to determine the best 360 performance for you, personalized, right? Which is great. That kind of adds to the 3D audio effect, which you can turn on when you're watching regular content.
Yep.
If you do have a PlayStation 5, it does come with a cable. The Theater U comes with a cable that you can then plug into the controller, and it works with, and I forget the name of it, the 3D audio codec that's in the PlayStation 5.
Tempest 3D.
Tempest 3D.
audio.
Yeah, Tempest 3D audio. So it does support that. In that way, you get that delivered directly to the Theater U, which is super cool. So you don't have to worry about Atmos or DTS-X. You're getting what is designed for a PlayStation 5. Super, super cool. But that is a great experience because honestly, Theater U is awesome. It is awesome. I literally use it every single night because it does allow me to have a louder experience without bothering everybody else, which is awesome. Even though the other two beings in my house, 3 beings in my house, sleep through pretty much everything. Beings.
I'm trying to get my hands
Bees.
on a Theater U. I
Keep
don't,
working on it.
I don't have a Theater U.
Global South. Yeah. I apologize. I don't have any good info on Xperia. Sorry.
Yeah.
And Sam asks, is there a reason? Whoa, it just jumped on me. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, no. Yes. Is there a particular reason why Sony didn't have a U.S. release for the Xperia phones? Honestly, we don't know. We were actually kind of looking to see if we could get our hands on some first, just so we can talk about it a little bit. But it's unfortunately just not a thing. So
Yeah.
if we find out something different, we'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm a big Xperia fan. So
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see. I can't remember who asked the question earlier regarding Bravia 9 in Japan. I want to.
Oh yeah.
My first you don't have to put it up. This isn't a danger disclaimer, John. But I do want to say, okay, just in case, yeah. I am operating on the most recent information that I have, but I haven't confirmed anything that's a different, group and team. But according to the document, I have Bravia 9, maybe size specific, as you indicated earlier, it is everywhere a Sony TV is. It's there. I didn't want to say global release because we know that's
Sure.
But it is listing that it is in Japan. It will be in Japan.
Okay.
If not already. So
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah, it'll be something to take a look at for sure. Should be on their website, I would imagine.
Should be. I didn't think to go there.
Yeah, I just thought about it too.
It'd be simple.
AAAZZZ. Thanks, guys. We'll send you all a mail documenting the issue. Perfect. Last 2 questions from my end, which I see one. So hopefully, if there's something I miss, unless I just haven't gotten that far. Do you have any advice on how to set the volume for the rear speakers of the HDA9? I know you have a little bit more experience with that. Because you can do the auto setup 360 spatial sound mapping for it, but I know that you can do a manual control and just boost the volume, right? Within the the GUI.
Sure. I just have not done it yet. So, there's a thing, right?
Okay.
I received the Theater Quad and the Bravia 9.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Bravia 9 set up, then I had to travel.
But this is specifically HDA9.
Oh, the A9.
Yeah. Not Mark II.
No, sorry.
Those we know you've said.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm living in a world of products. So wow, now I'm trying to remember. Aside from in the GUI, you do SFO. I'm trying to remember. You do SFO. Mine is just set from 360 SSM, and I just left it. I didn't need to boost or adjust or change. I think you can go into manual and you can boost decibel level. However, I'm trying to. Can you send us an email? Because I want to send the instructions on how to do. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I haven't touched.
I haven't done it in a while.
And
I never did it for
3
the
years.
HDA9. I've done it for the RS3s.
Okay, yeah.
with some of the other soundbars, and they're essentially the same GUI. So I assumed it would have been the same functionality, but we will find out for you. I don't know why I'm looking at that camera because you guys are over there. Boy, boy. All right, Michael Beckerman. Will any of the new Sony theater bars offer support for DSD audio format? Honestly, I don't anticipate that because that's like the super uncompressed, like super detailed, high fidelity stuff. I have not heard anything about support for it. We'll have to kind of double check and see, but we'll get back to you on that. We know how to find you. Good question. Global South did recently buy the Oldfield 1. Quite impressed. It is a great little speaker. Build quality and design is top notch. The sound quality is greatly improved over the older speakers. Yes, in your humble opinion, it is not just your humble opinion. It is mine as well. The Oldfield 1.
Everyone in this room, actually.
Yes, it is an awesome speaker. And I'm going to take this opportunity. We're talking about Alt. Did you know? There it is. I recently found this out. You can actually, those of you who have an Alt speaker, when you change Alt modes, makes that tone, which is pretty cool. So you can kind of get a vibe because they're clearly upping the intensity as you go through the different modes. You have the option to actually disable that sound.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. It's actually in the instructions.
Who reads instructions?
I am that nerd person, because I was doing some trainings on some stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna look at it to see if there's anything that I missed. And I found that.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. And I tried it. I'm like, that's actually kind of cool.
Right.
Because it just, instead of that sound, it just changes the sound. Really
That's cool.
So if you want to know how to do it, all you need to do is press the volume down and the Alt button at the same time and hold them down for, I think, 2 or 3 seconds. And there will be the LED indicator by the power button will flash, I think, 2 or 3 times. And that's it.
All right, that's cool.
And you can turn it back on by doing the same thing again. But I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we're on the topic of Alt, I have a did you know?
Oh.
We learned this together. And since we didn't make the video, we might as well share it here. When you look at the Alt speakers, for that matter, any of our wireless speakers in the last several years, you have a couple of buttons, right? You have power button, Bluetooth button.
I think I know where you go.
Play, pause.
Yes.
Volume up, volume down. That's pretty traditional, pretty standard across the board. Weird. I was, last month-year-old when I learned this. Anyway.
Last month-year-old, yes. Is that what you said?
Don't challenge my calendar.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
Anyway.
Carry on.
So what's interesting is I've often like, wow, how do I progress to the next track? Because with all the beef going on, I've chosen my side and I'm not trying to hear what the other person is saying, right? Or how do I go back and listen to the track that I do want to hear? So using the play pause button, if you press the play button twice, that progresses to the next track. If you press the play pause button 3 times, it either restarts that track, or if you do it at the beginning, I forgot what the amount of time is, it will go to the full previous track. Try it. I've tried it on XB10, XB13. Like I'm talking way back.
You just blew my mind. I didn't know that.
That's what I do. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
There you go.
And it was here we are, Derek and I are we're looking, it's like, this is just a design flaw. What if I want to skip a track? This is terrible. This is like back to the cassette days, right? You have to just wait, or I have to grab my phone.
It's like the touch sensors on our headphones.
Right. It's all connected. You see what I'm saying? So, but anyway, there you go. Continuity.
I love it.
Yep. Okay.
And I'm just going to add a little bonus there, especially for the game enthusiast. Having the Theater U, it doesn't have that play pause button. It has that kind of just that flat button that's between the volume down and volume up. Same thing. Click it to pause, play, and you can double click it to skip forward, triple click to go back. So that's always cool too. It's one of those things that it's not so obvious. I did find second question from AAAZZZ.
Okay.
In my case, the rear speakers are beside my couch. So you recommend setting the direction of the sound field to be closer to the rears manually, or will auto calibration take care of the positioning?
Okay. That's a great question.
That is.
You need to adjust them manually.
Yes.
Okay. And let me just take this opportunity to call out. All right. Talking about Bravia Connect, which I know we're going to talk about.
Well, we can segue to that.
We can talk about
There you
Bravia
go.
Connect. Your situation we identified as several individuals that have experienced the same thing. I recommend manually adjusting it on the HTA9. However, on Bravia Theater Quad, Bravia Theater Bar 9, and Bar 8, when you go through the same process of 360 SSM, the difference on those models with the Bravia Connect app is it utilizes the microphone on the phone to identify the listener's positioning. That is, so it's room correction, speaker location, and now primary listener.
Yep.
The reason why that is such a great thing is because you may have sound in the sense of the soundbar. The soundbar may be in the center of the room, but your primary seated position may be off to the right or off to the left. You know, it's in my house because I just have no choices.
Yeah.
But when you're doing the calibration there, it will adjust the audio based on where you are that listening, regardless. And it would also account for your position compared to your rear speakers. I'm not saying that you need to upgrade from the HTA9 because you have manual controls, and I love the HTA9. But we recognize that, and that's one of the things that we've changed with the newer models.
Nice.
Sweet.
There you go. That was well said. Well said. Real quick here, Michael Beckerman got to hear all 186,000 speakers of the Sphere Theater in Las Vegas. They use beamforming technology to localize specific sounds, while Sony audio products use the same tech as well. I'm just, again, this is one of those things, completely speculation. I don't know, disclaimer is probably not needed really, but throw it up just to make things all good.
What time do you get a disclaimer?
I know, I don't really do that very much, but kind of, I know, it's the worst. And it's probably not needed really. Beamforming audio in that sense is more experiential rather than like a home use kind of thing, because you really kind of need a lot, hence 186,000 speakers. I've actually seen in some retail locations beamforming where they actually had it on the base deck, and then as you walk by, it would reflect off, so you could hear it when you were in that position, which is really cool, because it does that. But from a standpoint of personal use, I don't think that doesn't really make sense. But we do make pro stuff too. I don't know if that's something that we head towards, because we don't really have anything even similar.
Right.
So time will tell, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that one.
And Mr. Beckerman, the question: have there been any new announcements? Any new announcements made yet regarding upcoming support for Dolby Flex Connect speakers on Sony TVs? You brought that up before, and I've communicated that information. Right now, look, obviously, we don't know what's happening on the engineering side, so we can't confirm one way or the other. But I do want to take this moment to talk about like our commitment to the interconnectivity of our TV and our theater products, right? Understanding as I read into that technology and feature, it seems to be very new, right, in its process, and there are some limitations. And I think honestly there's some experience of variations also in that versus what we're doing. Keeping in mind our entire campaign about cinemas coming home is to deliver that cinematic experience, and we feel right now the best way to do that is one of our Bravia theater products with a Bravia television utilizing our technology, 360 SSM. I love being in here.
I know. Everybody's going home still, slowly but surely.
Utah would be very proud of us talking about sound right now.
Absolutely.
He would be very,
Absolutely
very, very proud about that. Perfect timing. Yeah, that's why he was waiting. That's awesome. Okay.
Good question there. So I want to get to Darren and Daryl's question. Darren first just had a question about the bass performance of the Field 7. Kind of surprising, I'm not going to lie. I was pretty impressed with it. Granted, I did not crank it up. Now, audio, especially when it comes to bass, is very subjective, because some people are some people are overly sensitive to it. Some people just can never have enough.
Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I like it controlled. I don't like too much. I need a fair amount, right?
We have a Tower 10 in the other room.
I know we do. I know. Yeah. We're using that to work on some space that you guys hopefully will see in the near future. But that's interesting. And then you did have a couple things, an update to fix it. I don't know of.
Can I ask Darren a question?
Sure,
'Cause
you
Darren,
can.
I love a lot of your comments that you put in either live or whatever. I love that. Let me ask you a quick question. Are you just testing base functionality utilizing the Alt button, or are you utilizing the app and taking advance of the multiple band EQ
That makes a difference. You're right.
some manual adjustments? So I'm
point.
just, some obviously you can connect our products without utilizing the app, but those individual, to Derek's point, audio and sound is subjective, and it's more of a personal choice on how you want it. The inclusion, the Field 7 is 5-band EQ, right?
7 is oh my gosh.
I think it's 5. I know the Field 1 is the 3-band.
I think it's
It's
7.
it's a
7 on the
EQ?
7 and the 10.
That's what I said.
And the Field 1 is 3.
Literally, that's what I said. It's a 7-band EQ. Just don't rewind back and listen. Anyway.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
isn't it's not permanently recorded on the internet.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But
But yeah, maybe go in, check that setting. There's another setting also. I want to look at my phone.
Yeah.
That I'll just type it in so we don't disrupt it. The flow of the
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, that's a really good point, because what I did notice too, even with the Alt headphones, the Alt Wear, is you can turn on Alt mode. You have it off, Alt 1 or Alt 2, and then you can actually EQ at that point. So if you want a little bit more. So I actually run Alt mode 1 on the Alt Wear with an increased bass on the low frequency and the EQ as well as clear bass. So because I did define my EQ.
And I know what it is. I just thought about it. Also, Music Center app, connecting Alt Field 7, EQ, that's one thing. Then go into your audio settings and make sure the audio, you have two options, stereo and mono. I hope that that's still the same. Toggling that from mono to stereo, I think, also elevates the overall sound experience. I'm just
That doesn't sound familiar to me, but
of course not, man.
we'll see. All right,
I'll show
Daryl
you.
Watts.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you for your question. Appreciate it. How do you recommend connecting an Apple 4K TV to Sony A7000? Use eARC, ARC, or just connect Apple 4K TV to the television? I mean, quite honestly, I'm more of a connect to the TV, especially because that just gives you that option of an HDMI 2.1 ports that you could utilize on the A7000 if you need them. That's more of my personal opinion, but honestly, a factor could be how you have everything set up. Because if you don't want extra wires running to the TV, because of the way that'll look, especially if it's mounted, it might be easier just to connect to the soundbar. So it's really more of an aesthetic preference. But in terms of performance, it's going to be the same. Just here's the thing, though, is that if you do connect to the TV, when you turn it on, you want it to set the settings for you, so you're actually getting the enhanced and Dolby Vision.
Does that device have upscaling and processing settings within it?
Which
The Apple 4K TV. I was trying not to see the
that was what the question
yeah,
was.
true. Does it have?
I'm trying to think.
Okay. You know why?
There are some settings in there,
I need to look at that.
and if I'm not mistaken, because I'm not this particular person user for some things, but I believe there was a way that you could kind of calibrate it.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna look.
That sort of thing. I don't really know much about it, but we're gonna see if we can give you an idea. But realistically, from all that I am aware, and my personal recommendation would be just plug it into the TV. It would just make it a little bit easier, in my opinion. But if we find something different, I will get schooled, and Larry will be the one to do that. Chris says, "Welcome, Chris.
What up?
If you can only get one, which are you picking? 85 Bravia 9 or 98 X90L?" I know which one I'm going with.
Oh, you want me to answer it first?
Yeah, sure.
85 Bravia 9.
Bravia 9.
All day.
All day. Next question. No, yeah, the 98-inch, yeah, it is
love it.
bigger.
It's gorgeous.
It is a massive TV, but honestly,
I've never seen anything like the Bravia 9.
it's a new animal. It's a new animal, and yeah, you definitely.
I think
wouldn't
I'm.
want to go that way most.
Yeah,
likely,
I think
if you
I've
could.
fortunately enough, I've been around Sony long enough to have experienced some real pivotal milestones of TV excellence and greatness. XBR 8, Z9D, Z9G, A95K, Bravia 9. That's my Mount Rushmore of Sony TVs.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
All of those, I think they gave everybody pause. Like they were like, whoa,
Yeah.
what's next?
Right.
I think
right.
those TVs are what stimulate people wanting to know what's next because they're so damn good.
Yes.
Oh man. Anyway, so okay. Oh, they're so good. They're so
Well, okay.
good. That's two.
a little bit of passion. That's not quite. I didn't almost cry. No, I'm just kidding.
Too funny.
Right. So we'll get back to this question from Darren, but I do want to, Lord Punisher,
Dope
welcome. Yeah, well, thank you for being here. Enjoying the stream. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Looking to upgrade my 2017 X940E.
Okay.
It's either the Bravia 8 or Bravia 9.
Go.
I know, that is a great
That was a
TV.
75 inch.
The 940 would have been,
940 was a 75 because 65 was 930. I have a 65 930 still, and it is a monster too.
yeah. Yes. Those are, that was an incredible
Oh wow.
TV.
Sorry.
So Bravia 8 or Bravia 9, I mean, there are going to be very different performances. I mean, I'm just going to say, I mean, ultimately, here's what I'm going to say prior to us giving our personal thoughts, because ultimately it is going to be your TV. And I don't want us to say that you have to go one way or the other. We could spend a lot of time asking you, well, what do you prefer? What are your preferences to ideally recommend? So we'll give you our personal thoughts just based on that. But if you do want to, it's the perfect time to bring up one-on-one consultation because I forgot to do that. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, that happens.
We do offer a one-on-one consultation. So if you wanted to actually spend some time talking to a Sony expert about that and say, here, I have the 940E, here's my room, here are my preferences, and I'm debating between the Bravia 8 or the 9. What do you think? They'll ask you questions, you have a little chat, and kind of help get you the right solution for your needs. This is not about getting you the most expensive thing or, in our opinion, the best, because it's all about you. So we want to make sure you get the right information. We're happy to answer anything, but
Lord Punisher says, any guidance? Sorry.
yeah.
Oh, link in the description for a one-on-one consultation.
Link in the description for the one-on-one consultation.
So
Always
I'll
giving
primarily,
some insight. All right.
any guidance would be appreciated. I primarily
Darkroom
use
gaming.
a darkroom gaming. I let me just.
MTV.
I got to be honest with you.
Sure.
I'm gonna call one. I'm 1,000% gonna call one. Bravia 9. But here's why. The versatility of that TV because of its backlight control. Okay. Dark room oftentimes disqualifies mini LED because it struggles with blooming conventional mini LED televisions. With our advanced XR backlight master drive and our advanced, innovative, only no one else has it backlight system on there, dude, you can calibrate. You don't have to calibrate. You can just simply tweak and dial back the settings on that. Whoa.
Yes.
Bravia 9, your ceiling, look, your ceiling on the Bravia 9 is so much more higher than any other TV on the market, but it can also fight at that everyone else's ceiling level and deliver the goods. So
yeah, no, I 100% agree with that.
Yep.
The Bravia 9 really has changed the game, and I personally I've had since the A1E, I've had this my third OLED that I've had. I do have full array in my upstairs, but in a dark room, in basement for gaming and movie watching, in my case, like it was a tough decision. I'm really, I went one direction and I'm totally happy with the A95L, totally happy. But seeing them side by side, it's like, man, like, you know, it's just the way it worked out for me, which is fine. No regrets whatsoever. But that, like you said, it's that ceiling that we have opened up the potential for the future of TVs with what mini LED can do. And we're also creating the mastering monitor that can live up to it, so creators can create this content that starts to utilize that space. Oh my gosh,
it's exciting.
Yeah, it's
exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah,
I hope that kind of helps, but I would, we definitely would go that same route. Don't get me wrong, Bravia 8 is a stellar TV and would be a great replacement for it. But if you are looking between the 9, is going to be amazing. There was another question I saw come in here. Where did it go?
Okay, Darren, I'll take that one. Well, not the
That's
first
who
one,
I was
Darren.
looking. That was who
Yeah.
I was looking for.
Yeah. Look,
Okay, there it is.
Darren. I'm trying to get sponsored by Sony. I have to dedicate 40 hours a week in order to get my sponsor. Anyway, I'm just. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
wow.
40. What are you talking about? Anyway,
I only work
we're not
40.
saying that
I don't know about the
publicly.
rest of you guys. Darren, good point. I've been wanting to get a Sony XG300, but I feel like it's going to be replaced soon. Obviously, we can't speak about future products, but in this instance, or unannounced products, I actually don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I saw the comment earlier.
the
We didn't talk
1
about
to
this.
7?
1 and a 7. Look,
Yeah, 1,
there's
7,
a
and
1
10.
and a 7 because we always want room to grow. We always want room as we evolve a product line based upon success, demand.
'Cause there's a
and all
big
those
jump
things.
between-
Right. There's
between
space to put things in that area. So I don't know. I mean, I got in trouble last time I started. It was like, when did you start talking about this product? Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yes, let's not worry about
I won't go
that.
that far. But I mean, I'm excited to see what the future is for the wireless speaker lineup. I would get the XG if that's where you. Honestly, I'd get the Ultfield 7. But if XG300 is like the size and that space that you want to be in, I'd go ahead and get it right now. Like, I can't speak about the. God, this I got in trouble last time. Traditionally, spring, summer is when we start launching wireless speakers because of the seasonality. It just goes to show that that's the way it works. So if XG300 is the best option right now that fits you, dude, I'd just get it. I love the 3. I have a 300. Well, not anymore because my father stole it from me, but that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah. You'll say he just took what was already his.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just to go back on another comment from Darren, insanely powerful bass, but seems to disappear over 60% volume. Again, that's more of a subjective thing. I've honestly have not really tested that. I assume you're probably still talking about the Field 7. I'll have to check into that a little bit more. But again, you could go into the EQ on the app, Sony Music Center app, and then see if you can make some adjustments to get a better sound for what you're looking for. If you want more bass, obviously Tower 10 is what.
Is there a power save feature that would cause that?
There's a power save feature, I think.
Battery saver?
But that's what it's called. That's what I said. This is twice you've corrected me, and I said the thing that.
Yeah, that may be in the app too.
I'm looking.
Yeah. Okay, good. You're gonna check out.
There is power save because I know you can toggle on or off the auto shut off mode and those things to conserve battery life. So there are some settings in there. I need to look at
that. Might make a
specifically what they
difference
are.
too on its usage of power. And the conversation about watts, we're not gonna. Honestly, I don't want to dive too much into that. We actually don't disclose the watts. Watts can be misleading if they're used incorrectly because there are differences in types of watt measurements. So I'm gonna leave it at that because
We contacted the product team and it's like, look, we need to talk about watts. And they scheduled a call with the most advanced sound engineer known to man. And it's like, yeah, we're just not going to talk about watts.
yeah.
We don't. I know I got loud there, John. I'm sorry.
That was a long email.
That was a very long email.
Do we know yet what models of Sony TVs will be included in the Valley Electronics King of TV shootout this year? No, we do not.
I know what I'm hoping.
I expect
Yeah.
Bravia 9.
But what I've heard, right? So what I've heard this year, like last year, it will be an OLED category and a LED category. I don't know if this year they're doing 4K and 8K. I think 8K may be. I'm guessing now. We'd have to talk to Mr. Zahn about that. But I am excited about it. But you know what I want to know more than anything? Which reference monitor are they going to use?
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting question. I would guess
I would
not the 3110.
Man, I'm hoping it is.
I hope it is too because I think that I
Is
would
that
just
not
say
new
that
reference? Is that not future reference?
it's
4,000
future
nits?
reference, but
Well,
not as totally
hold
widely
on.
adopted yet.
Hold on. Not true. There's been
I guess
4,000
I'll
nit scenes in content for years because previous mastering monitors had simulated. No, they had
Correct.
those simulated. You
Right?
know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Caped individual that wears black versus caped individual that wears red. There's a 4,000 nit clip, red and blue. There,
What is that?
there's a 4,000 nit scene in there. So
Yeah.
it has been. There were
true.
2,000 nit scenes before there were 2,000 nit reference monitors. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about this.
That would be very interesting.
I'm just really excited about it.
I'm now that you mentioned it, I think that's
I'm trying to make it
that's one
happen.
of those potentially game-changing
Yeah.
things.
How will we measure a 2024 television using a 2022 reference monitor? I'm really trying to stir the pot, so if Mr. Zahn sees this, he can start moving things around and make sure there's an HX3110. Yes.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yes.
Okay, well, you heard it here
We
first.
have two buddies
Live
that
on the
will
internet
definitely be
forever.
there. That's true. Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh,
right.
man, I love it. All right, Tix, welcome. Finally got to see the Bravia 7 75-inch in person, and the sound is amazing. That is great to hear, because typically when people talk about a TV, the first thing they say is, it looks amazing, which is, of course, true when you're looking at a Sony TV, but yeah, that's awesome to hear. I'd be interested to know what it was. What was it that really kind of just blew you away?
Listen, anyone right now, I'm here. Okay. Anyone that goes into a store and you have the opportunity to get a demonstration, find somebody and then say these 3 words to them. Voice Zoom 3. You need to see, talking about sound, this demo is madness. What is this witchcraft? It is incredible. We've all seen movie content where, well, let me back up a second. The number one reason people utilize closed captions on TVs is not because they're hard of hearing. It's just because the audio mix is complicated to deliver vocal performance and all that on a television. Listen, Voice Zoom 3 is like the answer to, it's like closed captions be gone kind of a situation. At default, it's at 0, which is your standard traditional thing, but you actually have like 6 levels. I've forever been saying 5 levels up. Okay.
Yeah,
It's actually 6 because then there's max would be the 6th.
Oh, is it 5 and then max?
It's 5 then max.
Ah,
So,
okay.
and I see EG is on here. What's up, EG? But it's like you can elevate the vocal clarity and the vocal performance of the subjects on screen so much higher than the noise without losing the feel of the actual content. And it's done in a 2-step process. One, it's the identification of the frequency range that voices exist. And then it uses advanced AI machine learning to be able to identify, okay, now that we have this space, what was broken glass, what was cat, meowing or whatever, what's a piano, and then what's Derek talking. And then it isolates the vocal elements. It is so amazing. The other end of that spectrum is like taking the volume down. And you and I have talked a little bit about that. Like, why would we not want to take the volume down? But I'll give you an example. If I was a New York Knicks fan and they were having a tough go at it in the playoffs.
I know that's not the case.
I gotta bring it back up.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah. And they're having a hard time. Yeah, they're out of the playoffs now, right? But maybe in those games you want to dial back the commentators because you're frustrated and you just want to watch. You don't like that the commentators are agreeing with calls that you think are bad because, well, you're biased, right? Anyway, so that was probably too personal.
Wow.
But yeah, anyway, but Voice Zoom 3, go get a demo for Voice Zoom 3.
Yes.
Trust me, it's actually a reason to buy a TV. But
Can I?
sure you can.
Yeah, I'm going to. I want to challenge you on something, and this is for everybody out here. When you mentioned that it wasn't based on the person's hearing,
Okay.
I love hearing, and I know there are a lot of people that have a lot of troubles with that.
Yes.
Which I feel for that because I couldn't imagine being in that position. But I had this conversation recently with some people is that sometimes we don't know that we have some of these challenges of being able to hear things clearly.
That is true.
And I know this sounds terrible just because of what it's leading up to, but I'm more gearing towards how can we get a better life experience through every day of just hearing more things that you can do audio tests online to kind of see if you have some sort of perceived hearing loss, and you can see an audiologist if you want to go further. But Sony does make over-the-counter hearing aids as well, which some people may want to take advantage of. I know both of my parents would just not, I just can't hear anything anymore, but then they would just never do anything about it. My mom did actually get some hearing aids, and they're not cheap. She got the official ones, but now she can hear things, and it's like a whole new world. But I know there are a lot of people. I know my hearing is not as good out of my left versus my right, but it's not severe.
Right.
But just for all of you out there, if you ever feel like you are consistently being challenged, just do the test. Do yourself the favor just to kind of know and understand, because of the quality of life you can have by having hearing, if you have the ability to, like, take advantage of that if you can, because it's such a great thing to have.
Link to our website. They can go to the hearing aid section for the test.
There you go.
Yeah. Link
Yeah,
to
good
the
call
website.
on that. Good call on that.
And tackling, I mean, sort of tagging on to what you just said, because that's a great point. That's part of why the addition or the new introduction of our feature of the simultaneous audio was also important.
Yes. No, good
Right?
call. Good call.
Because in just kind of staying with the theme of home theater, that's why whether it's Theater U or whatever the case may be, the ability to be able to listen to television and Theater U, for example, or Theater U and Theater Bar simultaneously, for those people that need to kind of crank up their volume level to hear things a little bit better when everyone else is at this other level. I also have challenges with hearing some things. Most of the time, it's usually when I'm being yelled at, but it is a very real thing, and I appreciate you doing that, because we need to get to a point where we're comfortable getting that checked and then taking the steps, because there's so much out there that we're missing just from the loss of hearing. Mine is because I'm getting older.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of add that, just because I was thinking about it recently, that we all too often, especially us working with this sort of an industry, it's like, oh, the reason you can't hear those things or what people are saying is because you don't have a good center channel, you don't have good processing for the audio, you don't have Voice Zoom 3, but it could be other things. And obviously we are offering what we can for the people to make that as much as possible, to take advantage of that.
100%.
All right, am I missing things? We have Miami's official DJ here with us. Awesome, I love it. Welcome to the party.
What's good?
That's awesome.
I love it.
All right. Michael Beckerman does Sony's Voice Zoom 3 also utilize MPEG-H technology in addition to AI machine learning to do what it does? I don't have that information.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really, it's really just kind of told how it works in regards to the AI machine learning and how it actually identifies the voices within. I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, because you mentioned pulling the voices off of a piano, because that was something that was done in what was the app called in the Xperia, the music.
I have it because I have
something.
an Xperia.
I can't think of the top of my head, but that's kind of where it started, where you could actually upload a track. Music Pro, thank you. Where you could upload a track where you record yourself singing with a piano, and then it would actually separate those into separate tracks. And apparently, we do it exceedingly well, which is great.
I like that exceedingly well. I like that.
Exceedingly well.
I've been waiting to get clearance to answer a question earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't gotten clearance yet, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it.
Jeez.
I know.
Disclaimer.
Question regarding A95L receiving the rest of the gaming features that that's they've been waiting on. Let me see how I asked. We are targeting. God, I'm probably gonna get fired. We are targeting this summer, but there's still a lot of testing that needs to be done just to make sure, right? Again, we're targeting this summer, but the great thing about that is the objective is after that firmware update goes live, it would bring the A95L fully in line with the 2024 products. So every update that happens thereafter would all happen at the same time.
Beautiful.
So
I love that.
Hang tight. Derek may be the only person sitting up here next month to give you an update on that information.
That's gonna be a
There you go.
boring show.
Nah, I don't know, man. It may be more productive.
Woo, man. And while we're just on the topic of updates, updates. We did briefly mention the Bravia Connect app that is currently available to help you set up your Bravia theater bars, as well as your Bravia TVs for this year. So that is available. You can check it out. It gives a ton of control and essentially could replace your remote for both.
Yes.
which is very cool. It makes it very simple to kind of take care of both all in one place. It is awesome. It is available, but also,
Oh no!
I-
Are you switching?
I was
from Bravia
I was
Connect?
switching.
Hold
So
on. So just because obviously this is a support channel,
yes,
and we want to connect with everyone to make sure
we do want to connect.
they know how to everything. If you find that you are having any challenges utilizing the Bravia Connect app, setting up your new Bravia Theater product, uninstall the app and reinstall it. Especially for those that had either the S2000 soundbar or the HT-AX7 that originally was the Home Entertainment Connect app that received an update to convert it into Bravia Connect app. There's a small pocket of people. I'm not sure if it's based upon the phone that they have,
That's
the operating system
that's-
versus,
didn't
but
think
the
about that.
the solution that has been tried and true at like an extremely high rate has been uninstall the app, reinstall it, and you should be good to go. So I just want to throw that out there sort of proactively.
was trying to. Sorry, while you were
you're good.
doing that, I was listening.
You expected me to speak longer.
I did.
Sorry.
I was actually looking into this next question. I'm going to switch my windows over here. There's a question about when will the new Bravia lineup launch in India. I was trying to poke around to see if I could find anything on the Sony India website. I don't see anything yet. So unfortunately, I don't think I have an answer for you. I'll poke around a little bit more. Us being part of SNA North America, Sony North America, we don't have access to the information of the other regions, and we can't speak on their behalf. I'll see if I can find anything, and I will poke around here for another minute to see if I can see anything. That's interesting. I would expect, and of course this is strictly speculation, that it should be in the next couple of months. Because honestly, here we just got the last one available.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So it is a rolling process. So
Yep.
just what I would recommend is just check out sony.co.in to find out more details.
There it
Sorry, I
is.
don't have a better answer. But
SD, put this one up. If I was a betting man, I would have lost. I thought that comment would have happened earlier. That question. SD, I appreciate that question. People are outraged that the last two updates did nothing to
there it
fix
was.
bugs with Dolby Vision. People already, So this has been something everybody has been asking about, and not an hour and 45 minutes ago, we were actually trying to get some information. Here's what I'm at liberty to say. We are acknowledging and aware that there are certain cases where there are some challenges with Dolby Vision content. We are proactively investigating what the situation is with Dolby. It does not appear that it's limited to just Sony. There's some other factors that are still trying to be ironed out, but we are actively working on a solution for our part, along with Dolby, and we are looking to have a solution really, really soon.
Yep. Yeah.
That was the most uncomfortable statement I've
It
had to make
was.
in a while.
What was interesting too is kind of looking at the performance of the A95L, the performance capabilities of the A95L is a lot of people forget that we have these amazing calibrated mode. Is that the right term that you would use?
They are.
Because
They're
it's calibrated to a
pre-calibrated
Sony
picture modes. Yeah.
pre-calibrated picture mode, like to a Sony spec, if you will, professional mode.
Right.
In many cases, and I'm kind of curious to do some testing myself to kind of see if what does this look like with Dolby Vision or whatever versus just professional mode. Just kind of see how much of a difference it does make, because we do have the ability to process metadata and create an optimal HDR performance even without strict instructions from somebody that to put everybody in that boat, right? Those calibrated modes. So that might be something to kind of take a look at and see how that does.
I'm glad you said that. Frame by frame, real time,
Yeah.
dynamic metadata. Our processors have been doing that
For a
since
long time.
our E series. I almost think.
Wasn't he? Wow.
And I know this because if you remember, the A1E didn't launch with Dolby Vision support.
That's right. That's right.
Because our picture engineers, along with Sony Pictures, looking at it, was like, what what this processor can do with dynamic Dolby Vision is just a list of instructions that tells the TV what to do.
Yeah.
Our processor does that based upon the source information.
Correct.
It does
Right.
that in
Yeah.
real time.
Yeah.
And there was this like, is it necessary? Right. But obviously, like all things, right, the industry started to look at Dolby Vision as sort of this gold standard of what that HDR delivery should look like. So of course we embraced that, but we did not stop. As you were talking about, like professional mode, especially on the A95L, we didn't stop using our formula and our secret sauce. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that is a good point. I want to go back, bounce up to one, and then we got to start kind of wrapping up. So get your questions in. What you have, we'll answer the best of our ability. Remember, we do have our email address as well, John. If you could throw that in the comments, if you want to, what's that? Okay, cool. If you do have some more in-depth, but also one-on-one consultations available, if you want to have that discussion about getting the right product for what you're looking for and have that discussion with the Sony expert so you can have a good back and forth, that is available 100%. As well. But EG has the question, does Sony have an answer for Samsung glare-free technology? I prefer Sony, but need something to help with all the natural sunlight I get during the day. Thoughts? Huh? Yes, we do have.
Yeah, we do. So we have X anti-reflection.
Yep.
And an XY viewing angle are usually coupled
they
together.
Go. Yeah.
E.g., you ask a very interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
We have technology to do that. We also have other ways that we're delivering that. Right? There's even just from a processing accurate color at a higher brightness. There's multiple ways that you can combat ambient light. One of which we've talked about is brightness, right? You look at like A95 level television, Bravia 9 and Bravia 7 level. With Bravia 9 having X anti-reflection and its peak brightness, it's there. Bravia 7, and I tested this. Oh, I wish I could show you guys these photos. I tested this in a massively lit warehouse. Okay. And did it show up? I had ambient optimization pro turned on. So I let the TV read the room and dictate the settings, and it delivered. It was super impressive.
Yeah.
It was super impressive.
I want to add something to that too, because sometimes there are kind of a callback to a comment earlier about like getting obsessed with spec and feature, because realistically, and I am one of these people that, yes, I do watch during the day, but what we typically watch during the day is brighter content. So to your point, in the case of the newer TVs like the Bravia 7, Bravia 9, and honestly, even the Bravia 8 has gotten brighter. A95L is very bright. It kind of overpowers the need for that unless you have your open windows facing a TV. And, and when you're watching, really dark content during the day, most people are not doing that. And it's okay if you do, but realistically, I don't know of any TV that's going to perform beautifully just because the light output doesn't match the ambient light of the room. So I think sometimes we look at a feature and be like, well, if that's a thing that many people will need it, but I don't know if it's as many as people think. But I could be wrong.
No.
To each their own. It's not my TV.
I actually think you're always right there.
I am far from that.
Okay.
Far from that.
Shaquille, will you guys come out? Sorry, did I just jump ahead of you?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Shaquille, will you guys come out with a 98-inch mini LED next year? I'm not authorized to speak, but no, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would love to see it.
Yeah, if I put my consumer hat on right now, I could see the interesting factor being price.
Oh, yes.
Because you can make. Are we capable? Let's back up. Let me take this approach. Are we capable of making a 98-inch mini LED TV? The answer is yes.
No, it's true.
Is there a market to support the price that would be associated with it? The answer would probably be maybe. And until we answer that question, that'll let us know where we're heading going forward.
That's a good way to put it. That is a really good way to put it.
And EG, to follow on your last one, but do they do it in OLED? Speaking about the other brand, are there disadvantages of doing anti-glare in an OLED? There are. I just want to be really... We made a conscious effort not to do anti-glare, at least this year, because the technology evolves over time, right? On our OLED this year is because you do so at the detriment of picture quality and performance. Let me just be clear. In my opinion, in my personal opinion, when you think of an OLED, you think punchy color, you think sharp, image clarity. Adding that, to that situation, because the application of anti-glare on an OLED is different than application to a mini LED because their panel structures are different.
Correct. Right.
Okay. It just, I think in our opinion, just knowing what I know, it would upset the perfect picture quality we're chasing by adding that.
Yes, that's kind of what I was thinking too, because there is the challenge of adding a layer that can actually create diffusion of light, right? So your light output from your panel could actually start to diffuse a little bit, which takes away from the clarity and accuracy of your image and also your contrast.
Right.
So then you're almost potentially introducing a form of diffused blooming, maybe. Right? It's I just speculating on just how I understand how the technology concept works. I'm not an engineer. My brain is not able to comprehend those things. But I just want to make a comment here because I think Ronan in Global South had the best answer for that. So Ronan said, "Does Samsung?"
Wow.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
The comment is on the board. We don't have to read.
I'm not going to say it. And then Global South followed that up with the...
I'm going to have to throw the disclaimer up whenever...
With the comment, yeah.
Yes.
Can you overlay the comment with the disclaimer at the same time? Like that's what you're going to have to do.
And then, you can follow that up with Global South's comment as well, because that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Anyway, sorry. Good stuff.
Michael Beckerman, do the new Sony USB-C.
Ooh.
Rechargeable remotes have a way of showing you when they are fully charged. If so, how? The television tells you.
Does it?
Television tells you. When I left home, it comes with a soft charge. I'm guessing.
Okay.
It was a soft charge of like 70% or something.
Yeah.
And I got a notification. I'm sure I need to dig in. I'm sure you can change the settings of notifications of how frequently.
Yeah.
But after 3 days of intense testing, lots of hours of testing,
Sure.
it gave me a notification that said 60%. So, like, take with that you will. So
Yeah.
I think it'll give us time to really mess around with that. You guys ask the question that I tested everything else on it. I was ready for everything.
I know. I don't have one. I haven't gotten to a point where I've had one die. So can't say.
There you go.
Do we want to revisit the question because it's come up just twice in a row? And we have a comment. I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher the name. Any update on the issue with Dolby Vision on A95L?
Perfect.
Follow up. Stop ignoring the Dolby Vision questions, Sony.
Yeah.
We hear you, Pete.
Yeah.
We are not ignoring you. We are listening, and this is actually another reason why we are here, is to hear that. We're not ignoring it.
Yeah. Beautiful thing about that
We have
is
the best. We have the current, most up to date.
most up to date. Great thing is we knew it was coming. We didn't want to avoid it, and then also the powers that be didn't want us to avoid it.
Correct.
So, we've identified the situation. This is not like we just identified it yesterday. We've been working alongside Dolby to identify the solution, and we are working towards that solution. So something should be happening pretty soon. Can't give you definitive dates or times, but we know something is definitely happening or has happened in select models. It doesn't seem to be limited to just Sony, to be clear, but we're working towards a solution. So stay tuned. It's gonna happen.
Yep. Yeah. No. That's really what we're here for is to hear these things, and we do pass on that information. So I hear your passion in that, and that's kind of why we're here is to acknowledge that we are listening. Now, to be fair, we are not like official spokespeople. We're here to support our fans, our customers, anyone who needs help to get the best solution, fix their issues. But we're not engineers. We are not the people who get behind and take these things apart. We're the people that talk to the people. And that's really what we're here for. So we want to hear it. We appreciate it, and we appreciate that you got passion around it because we're with you, 100%.
Yep. Appreciate the question.
Yes. Have we missed anything? Because we're gonna start wrapping up in just a few minutes. About 5 minutes left. So if there are any questions, please throw them in there. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. I really hope you find us useful in what we're doing and helpful. And if you could, please like, share, subscribe, of course, because that does show our bosses that what we're doing is valuable. And Michael Beckerman, I do appreciate you said earlier, can we make this weekly?
Oh, I love that.
That would
Yeah,
be
thank you
great.
for that.
Unfortunately, we don't live close to each other, so we actually are traveling out to Sony HQ to do this to help support you guys as much as possible. If we could, we probably would do that.
Yep.
Because we do actually really look forward to this.
This is the best part of my
This
job.
is like the time just flew by,
Yep.
and it's past dinner time.
Yeah.
So
Can I slide in one
yeah,
update if I can?
yeah, absolutely.
If I can. All right. Really, really quick. As of May 21st, and if we've already talked about this, then feel free to throw crayons at me. Okay. Wow, that got close. As of May 21st, Prime Video Calibrated mode has gone live
Oh yes.
on Bravia 7, Bravia 8, and Bravia 9. Okay. We are super excited about that. The great thing is it is automatically on. Okay. The beauty of this calibrated mode is you don't have to change anything.
Yes.
It identifies your panel type. Let's just do this really quick. It first identifies whether or not you have an LED or an OLED panel type. The second thing it does is it identifies whether or not the content is in HDR, SDR, or HLG. Why is HLG a big thing? Well, because they have live sports
Yes.
on
yes.
Prime
yes,
Calibrated
yes.
mode. And for those that don't know, HLG is live sports version of HDR, or I'm sorry, live content, how do I want to say this, dude? Live television content in HDR. It's done in HLG. I say sports because that's really the only time you see it.
Right.
The third thing that it identifies is, what did I miss? Is that 3? Oh, the type of content, whether it's
Right.
movie or sports. Duh. Wow, I screwed this one up. Anyway, but the idea is that it should be a seamless experience. You should be able to go from watching your favorite show that I saw some of you all talking about earlier. Name dropped. I got an email from the producing director of that film today. So that's pretty
is
dope.
awesome.
That was exciting. But not a name drop because I didn't say his name. But anyway, you can go from watching that incredible show to watching sports content, and the TV you don't have to change all of the other things. Like, it automatically makes those calibrated decisions, and it looks great. So there you go.
Love it.
May 21.
I love it.
It happened.
Good stuff.
Check your updates.
All right. So, kind of wrapping up the last couple things we have here.
Hi, producer Austin. All right.
Wrote in, no problem. We know things are always going on, and we're not always on at a consistent time. Unfortunately, that would be the dream if we could do that, but we have so many things we have to do that's very difficult to do.
I realize we've been here since 7 a.m.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh man, we did get here really early, didn't we? So there was a question: can Bravia 378 handle reflections well? So I'll say that's a tough question to answer because it depends on the particular situation, what type of lighting there is in the room,
Direction of the lighting.
how diffused the lighting is. I wish I could tell you a definitive, but because of how many factors there are, I will be honest and upfront about this. They don't have a specific, and they don't have the X anti-reflection. So they don't have that. Now, I will say this, especially if you're trying to compare between them, the Bravia 7 will be the brightest out of those three. So it will do the best job in kind of overpowering the ambient light of the room, giving you not only an incredible picture, but also helping to mitigate some of that ambient light that might be reflecting on your screen. But it also depends on what you're watching. Because if you're watching the news or sports or like a sitcom, generally that's very bright content.
Right.
Most of them will do well in most homes without an issue. But if you are watching a very dark movie, if you have a lot of ambient light, really, even if you have anti-reflective technology, it's not going to look the same. So I'm sorry if that doesn't totally help, but I hope it kind of gives a direction. But I don't know if you have anything you want to.
No, I don't.
Add
I
on
have-
to that.
No, I think that was perfect. I have one question I want to answer. This will be my last one that I'll take.
Okay.
SD mentioned Bravia 9 also had Dolby Vision issues.
I saw that. We were going to work with that. I did not know that, actually. I had not heard that.
Did you know that when TVs are released, unlike connecting a Blu-ray player to a television, in which via the HDMI cable, each of those devices understand their capabilities. A Dolby Vision Blu-ray player sends a message to the TV, and the TV's like, "Sup?" And the TV is like trying to see if I got that Dolby Vision, right? And the TV's like, "I got it." And then the Blu-ray says, "Cool, Dolby." Like that's anyway. Eat it. So it's not eat. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's different on streaming apps. It doesn't work the same on streaming apps.
Right.
On streaming apps, they have to log into their platform or database the list by model number
Now
of
it's clicking.
all the applicable models that support the feature. In this case, Dolby Vision.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, there's this very short period of time when a new TV releases and that streaming platform has not updated their protocols. I will give you a great example. A95K. The first 7 days, because we get them early, right? The first 7 days I had that, a very popular streaming platform with a whole bunch of things that I may have read in an animated book at some point, right? Follow me? That streaming platform didn't even identify my TV as 4K. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy. But, you know, obviously I sent an email to the engineers and it was resolved in like 24 hours, which was mind blowing. But anyway,
That's awesome.
so when TVs first come out, if you have that kind of situation, hop on here with us, drop us an email, let us know if you discover situations like that and allow us to communicate that up, and you will get, especially something like that. There's a level of immediacy that can happen to resolve that. So
yeah, and
different
that's a good call, because one of the things that I love about this, just to kind of go a little bit off topic, but kind of to hopefully add a little bit of value to what we do. I had somebody ask on one of my videos that I was monitoring, that I did the presentation for, about why did it show on the Singapore website, why did it show that the Bravia 7 on the 65-inch was just full array? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know. Now, I don't know if I had anything to do with it, but we did start to reach out to some people, and it was corrected within a couple of days. So, you know, it's cool.
Oh, it was all you.
I don't think I could take credit for it. I'm not gonna
That's
lie,
my story.
'cause I don't know if we ever got it to the right people, but the fact that it was, we got it there. So we do want to make sure we're giving you guys the most accurate, up-to-date information that we can share, or that we do even have the info for.
Right.
But yeah, Michael, he did say he did,
Yes.
because it did sound like you were like,
Eat
yeah,
it?
eat it. Like, what? I didn't challenge you, man. Jeez. Yeah, sorry.
It's been a long day, guys.
I thought he was attacking me for a minute, but yes, he did. So one last question that I see, and then we'll kind of wrap up.
All right.
Certain companies are dropping ATSC 3.0 tuners out of their TVs, possibly the lower costs, probably the case. Is Sony going to stick with ATSC 3.0 tuners? I don't really know what the future plan is with that. But yeah, they're probably like, God, you guys are still here? Yep, we are still here. But yeah, I don't really have any info to share on what the future is for that, because I know ATSC 3.0 is still in the process of rolling out across the country. So we'll kind of have to wait and see, to be honest.
Yeah, we're a good partner with ATSC 3.0.
Yeah.
We want to see it grow. So we'll see what happens. And SD, do me a favor, send me an email. Drop me an email after hours support at Sony.com regarding what you're seeing with Dolby Vision or what you're hearing on Bravia 9. I can test Bravia 9 at home. I actually, now in fairness, I watched Dolby Vision, and I also watched content on Sony Pictures Core in Pure Stream, and I was amazed by it. But we'll take a look at that. Send me an email and give me some specifics so I can look into it and get back with you if that's okay.
Sure.
Let's do that.
Cool. Awesome. Let's wrap up. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Larry,
Oh, thank you, Derek.
for being here.
For now.
John, thank you for being here. Austin's just sitting there. Dan's outside the door waiting. He's probably like, can I go home? I don't know if he's watching. He looked like he heard me or something.
Yeah.
But most importantly, of course, thank you guys all for supporting us. We do love doing this. We want to continue to do it, but it is important, to be honest, that we need to show the value of what we're doing. And we do have this amazing group of people here that are, we see you guys so consistently, and we thank you guys so much. But let your friends and family know, people that that just love the tech, that this exists. Share it out there on the interwebs if you want. We would love it. But again, last thing, one-on-one consultation link available in the description if you want to have that one-on-one consultation question back and forth sort of a thing. We'll be back next month. And hopefully we'll see you guys there soon. I did just want to see, let's see. Is there anything else that we need to address? Last thing.
I don't think so. I love it. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. There's a lot of names in here making some comments. Thank you guys.
And right at the end, SD is like peppering us. Like,
I know.
SD asked last question. Are you guys ditching QD OLED? Doesn't seem like 77A95L supply ever normalized. More cost effective to go with MLA.
Oh, that's an interesting thing.
So,
man.
I'm not going to get in.
Buzzer.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the MLA and the QD OLED. But here's what I will say. I found out something interesting. 77A95L is in supply. It's where they're going.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times as everyday customers, we think about retail and all that kind of stuff, right? There's an entire custom integration division that does home integration and all that. And of all the OLEDs, these individuals are purchasing 77A95L, is the one. And they are in supply. So look around at some other sources. Check out Sony Direct. I'm sure we have the link in the description. And check those alternative options out if you're in the US.
From my interactions with some of these folks that work in this, they're just like, because your TV is amazing and it works with all these things we need it to do with these complex situations. So yeah, it's a little different than me as an average consumer going into the big box store and saying, hey, can I get this thing? We put the product where it moves the most, to be honest. But
I like it. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you with this, but I wanted to write that down. Something else.
If I can't afford the this is the last question, because we gotta eat dinner at some point. Hey, welcome.
Oh, the brains are in the building. What's up, Trey?
Possibly a future guest on the show.
When you guys see me pecking away on the keyboard, and I'm like, let me go research. I'm literally talking to this gentleman that just walked in.
He'll remain nameless for the moment, but maybe he'll be up here someday.
I'd love to have him. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, real quick question of, if I can't afford the B9, Bravia 9, I'm going to say that, is Bravia 7 going to be amazing? Yes, the Bravia 7 is a great TV. It is a great TV, and especially, I get it, because I am one of these people that cost dollars is a thing. It is a factor. It is a factor for me more than I care to admit sometimes. But the Bravia 7 is a stellar TV. The performance that we actually just saw it up on the display and comparing some of these, and we're like, oh man, that crushes that in different types of scenes, even though it is it's mini LED. OLED is better. What are you watching? All these things, and even though it doesn't get as crazy as the Bravia 9, absolutely a great TV. No question.
You could have said it best. Here's how I look at the Bravia 7. And again, we've been wrapping up for 30 minutes. But anyway, here's how I look at the Bravia 7. If you all have loved our 90, I'll call it the 90 series, X90L, X90K, all the way to X900. What that is for full array, meaning it's a TV whose price and performance punches way above its weight class, and you get more than what you're paying for. The Bravia 7 in the mini LED space is that same TV. It's the same TV.
Yep.
comparatively speaking, you can stack that television up. First of all, there is no natural competitor to the Bravia 9. Let it go. There just isn't.
Right. It's its own thing.
So if you remove the
Yeah.
Bravia 9 from the equation, the Bravia 7 stacks up and will compete with anyone else's premium top tier mini LED. You should go take a look at it. Trust me. No lies.
All right, last question we're going to answer. Global Sound. I promise. We got to go. Have you guys considered creating a... Oh, no, there's going to be more. Created a Sony After Hours website, one where forums could exist and facts could be posted. Now, we do have the Sony website that does have a community forum.
That team
and
is
we,
awesome.
We know that there are some amazing people. I know some of you amazing contributors to that space are here, and we love you guys as well. You guys know who you are. But yeah, I appreciate that. So that is something you could take a look at too if you want to kind of have some of that interactivity. I'm not on there, but we do have an amazing team of our cohorts that do support that as well. So
And some of those members have been in our chat today.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
a lot of them are here.
I was
I don't know
half
if I
listening. My bad.
I don't
Okay,
want
I'm
to I don't want to call them out.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah,
there's probably 4 or 5 that I think off the
Yeah.
top of my head. At least, right. So,
Facts.
but anyway, that being said, again, thank you guys so much. Gosh, we could just literally do this all day. It's so hot in here though, and it's late. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. On behalf of myself and of course Larry, if he appreciates you, I'm sure he does. And John,
Of course.
back there in his support. Austin just being good job. And Dan, awesome job last time and being there to kind of watch
Dan is like, just
and
let me go.
supervise.
Yeah.
Supervising.
Yeah.
We're going to get out of here. Again, throw the comments. If you think of more
Yeah.
questions, even after we're live, throw those comments in there. We will take a look at those and answer those the best we can. There is also the email available, so make sure you check that out. One-on-one consultation, check that out as well if you need it. We're going to get out of here. Have a great night. Be safe. Be good to each other. We'll see you next time.
Peace. See ya.
Peace.